After the end of the Tournament of Power, all the universes were in a great peace. However, a new danger was approaching. That's right, this danger was only for the two most powerful warriors, for Son Goku of Universe 7, who was able to reach the Ultra Instinct, and Jiren, the mortal who overcame the power of his God Destroyer. In Universe 7, everyone was beerus, talking about everything that had happened in the Tournament of Power, and the amazing power that Son Goku possessed. Mr. Beerus, are you afraid of Mr. Goku? You being the most powerful destroyer god. Of course I'm not afraid of Son Goku, but the capacity with which he advances is incredible. Even us gods who trained for millions of years can't advance with such ease. Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. After all, Mr. Goku has a kind heart, and will never be able to do something that will harm all the universes. But at that very moment, the most powerful beings of the realm of everything had appeared in front of both deities. That's right, both Zeno-sama, Daishenkin, together with her guardians, would stand in front of Whis and Beerus. Daishenkin-sama, Zeno-sama, it's a pleasure to have you in my humble planet. Tell me, what can I do for you? In the words of Whis, they're right. That saying Goku ends with the 12 universes are very unlikely, but... At that moment, Zeno-sama would begin to speak. We must end the lives of Son Goku of Universe 7 and Jiren of Universe 11. They're extremely dangerous subjects and we cannot allow them to remain alive. Beerus and Whis would be very surprised by the words of Zeno-sama. But isn't Goku his best friend? Why does he want to end his friend's life? Do we have two alternatives, or end the life of both subjects or seal them in the room of the fallen kings? It is said that being locked in the room of the fallen kings is much more suffering than death itself. But what is the reason for all this, Zeno-sama? You must not know it, but above us, there are also much more powerful beings that even if all the universes were united, we wouldn't be able to face them. That's right. An extremely powerful god that has observed the whole Tournament of Power and has given the order to finish with both subjects, or seal them in the dimension of the fallen kings. That's impossible, and being's much more powerful than the Zeno-sama. For that same reason, we must finish with both subjects, because if we reveal ourselves to that deity, he'll finish with all of us. At that place, the beings of the King of Everything would leave again to their palace, leaving both deities of the Universe 7 surprised. After only a couple of hours, Daishenkin had requested an emergency meeting with all the gods, who came quickly. When they arrived, they all bowed. Gods, you must be wondering the reason for the emergency meeting. I'll be very quick and precise. The reason is to hunt the mortals, Goku and Jiren. All the gods would be amazed to know that, thanks to them, they were able to return to life. Daishenkin-sama, what's the reason for this great news? A being much more powerful than us has observed both subjects, and it seems that both warriors are extremely dangerous for all universes. But Daishenkin-sama, both subjects have fought for their ideals. They are the only thing Goku wants is to become more powerful, and Jiren wants to revive his family. I agree with God Champa. Even though I'm not his guardian angel, my sister Vados has trained him in a great way to know about good and evil. This is not a request. It's an order. Both subjects must be annihilated or we'll all die without being able to do anything. All the gods were silent for a few minutes. However, the god Beerus would take a step in front of everyone. I fear the power of my warrior, but I'll not be the one to lead him into a trap or betray him. You, Zeno-sama, can erase me if you wish, but I'll not participate in this. I never thought I would say the same thing, but don't count on me either. I won't betray Jiren. If that's what you both have decided, you'll be eliminated at this very moment. No, Dai. Just leave them on the verge of death. And at this very moment, teleport Goku and Jiren to a planet where they'll be able to defend themselves. Sir, wouldn't it be better to finish them off without them noticing us? Betraying my best friend feels like scum. At least let them defend themselves. Daishenkin would obey the king of everything he had ordered. At that moment of raising one of his arms, Jiren, who was meditating, would appear on a planet as well as Goku, who was training. Both subjects were surprised. Hey, what's happening? I was training. Something bad is about to happen. I could feel it in the air. Daishenkin would appear in front of the two guys. Goku Saiyan from Universe 7, and Jiren from Universe 11. Both of you will be eliminated when you break the rule of exceeding the power of a destroyer god. Goku would be very surprised by what Daishinkan said, but apparently there's such good warriors that even their gods refuse to participate in this hunt. At that moment, Beerus and Vermouth were on the ground very badly wounded and on the verge of death. At that moment that Goku would approach, Daishinkan would have turned them into ashes. Why are you doing this, Daishinkan-sama? And does my friend Zeno-sama know? Of course I know, Goku, but the decision has already been made. Gods, attack! All the remaining gods went to attack since they knew that if they refused, they would be annihilated quickly. Goku at that moment would pass to the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, increase 20 times, while Jiren would increase his power to the maximum. We're not going to die so easily. You must be able to defeat us. I won't let them finish me off without avenging my family first. Both subjects began to exchange blows with the gods. However, it was noticed that Goku was most injured. That's right, Goku was able to overcome the gods when he activated the Ultra Instinct with the Superior Saiyan Blue, but still no match for the gods. Son Goku, concentrate. You're capable of activating that state again, otherwise we'll die on this planet. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Vegeta would feel the immense power of Goku. This isn't training. Kakarot's power is overflowing. He's about to die. Vegeta would summon Shenron at that moment. As Bulma had the 7 Dragon's Balls, he wasted no time in doing it. Tell me, what is your wish? I wish that you'd teleport me to where Kakarot's fighting. At that moment, Shenron's eyes would shine and Vegeta had disappeared from that place. When Vegeta arrived, he would observe Kakarot being tortured by some of the gods. While Jiren was only able to defend himself, Vegeta would remember the words of his master Whis and the god Beerus. Flashback. Vegeta, you possess a little bit of evil in your heart, but it will be impossible for you to achieve the Ultra Instinct. You will be able to achieve the Ultra Ego. The Ultra Ego is a state beyond a destructive god. You dominate the destructive energy in its totality. And flashback. Vegeta at that moment would enter a state of anger. Beginning to increase all his power, the gods would notice the sane Vegeta. At that moment, 2 of them would go to attack. However, the purple aura would drive them away. That's right, Vegeta was accessing his new transformation. After a great curtain of smoke, you could see the Prince of the Saiyans in his Ultra Ego transformation. This power is incredible. I can't believe it. I feel that I'm able to finish with any subject that's put in front of me. Finish with the life of that Saiyan in the same way. So I was right. It wasn't a training session. They really want to end the life of Kakarot and Jiren's insect. Vegeta at that instant, without wasting time, would launch a powerful attack towards Goku, which the gods would receive most of the damage to be holding it. Goku would fall to the ground badly wounded. Kakarot, it's not your time to take a break. So stand up like an honorable Saiyan that you are. 2 of the gods would go again against Son Goku. However, Goku at that moment was able to dodge both blows. That's right, Goku had accessed the perfect Ultra Instinct with which he began to end the lives of the gods. After approximately 45 minutes of battle, the only god that remained alive was Champa. But to everyone's surprise, Daishinkan would end his life with a lightning bolt. We don't need cowardly gods. We will call new gods, and they'll be more powerful. As they turn out to be a nuisance, they'll be condemned to the dimension of the fallen kings. Daishinkan at that moment would begin to approach the 2 subjects, but without wasting time. The 3 warriors attached and attacked, but in vain since the power Daishinkan surpassed them by dozens of times. Or is it better to end his life? Vegeta, realizing that Daishinkan had already invoked the portal of the dimension, thought quickly. That dimension's similar to the time room. So I'm 100% sure Kakarot's insect and Jiren would get out of that place. All the warriors would continue to give shrapnel of blows to Daishinkan, however they weren't able to give him a scratch. At that moment, Vegeta would communicate telepathically with Jiren. Jiren, go to the dimension that this guy says, because if he kills you, no one will be able to revive you. In that place, you have a better chance of living. Saiyan by the name of Vegeta, are you going to sacrifice yourself? Of course I am, insect. If Kakarot falls in battlefield, no one will be able to stop these guys. At that moment, Jiren, with the help of his visual power, would create a great light, which would leave Daishinkan without vision for a few seconds. At that moment, Jiren would take Goku with his maximum power, entering that portal. When Daishinkan regained his sight, he'd observe how the Prince of the Saiyans was carrying a bestial power. "I'll not die without scratching you. Let's see if you're able to withstand an explosion of all my power. Sorry, Bulma, Trunks, my little daughter. I hope to see you again soon." At that moment, a great explosion would be created in the entire planet where they were. The explosion was so devastating to be with Hawkeye energy that was even able to make Daishinkan bleed. That's right, at that moment, the last scream of the Prince of the Saiyans was able to be heard throughout the universe. The proud warrior who gave his life for his rival and a warrior of the Universe 11 had disappeared. At the moment of finishing the explosion, which would leave no trace of the Saiyan Prince, Daishinkan would appear with a few wounds, but nothing serious. "So, both subjects have decided to enter the dimension of the Fallen Kings. That'll be much worse, since they have chosen death." At the moment, Daishinkan and both Zeno-samas would return to their palace. Meanwhile, in the dimension, both had arrived to a completely white place, very similar to the Room of Time. But the pressure that this place emanated was extremely incredible, being so much that even for Goku and Jiren it was very difficult to move. "Why the hell did you do that, Vegeta? I swear I'll avenge your death. Those bastards will pay for it." "Only if you can get out of this place, because the pressure of the powers that we're feeling are extremely terrifying. This is a good place to die, but it's also a perfect place to become warriors of great power." "I agree with you, Goku. It's time for the most powerful mortals of the 12 universes to break through the barrier and ascend to the divine world." Goku and Jiren had arrived at the dimension to which Zeno-sama had sent them. That's right, both warriors had been sealed in the dimension of the Fallen Kings. In this dimension, they were sent to the kings of the whole that contained a power similar to a creator god, and they were also very bloodthirsty. "Damn it! We haven't met any of the kings of the whole, but the pressure of this simple place crushes me." "That doesn't matter. You're Goku. We must be able to resist and get out of this damn place. Because if we die here, the Vegeta Saiyan will have died in vain. We'll not allow that. We'll avenge Vegeta's death." Goku and Jiren at that moment, they were about to start fighting to increase their powers and make their bodies more resistant. A guy would appear in front of both of them who were not able to see who it was since the speed of which he had arrived was incredible. "What the hell was that? Was it a rock or a person?" At that moment, a great curtain of fire spread all over the place. A female voice came from the fire. "Well, well, what do we have here? Is this something you don't see every day? How interesting. Mortals that surpass the power of a destructive god are sealed in this place." "Who are you? How do you have so much speed?" "Honey, I'm the one taking the questions here, not you. For that lack of respect, I'll make you suffer a little bit." Towa, in a matter of milliseconds, had given millions of hit to Jiren, who had not been able to see anything. He would only fall to the ground. Goku had been very surprised, and having activated the Ultra Instinct, he would throw himself against that woman. The demon named Towa would not move from the same place. She had only dodged each one of his blows. However, when she wanted to hit him, she would be a little surprised. When she realized that the guy had dodged her blow while Towa dodged each one of Son Goku's blows, she would start talking to him. "So a mortal is capable of dominating the Ultra Institute to its maximum expression. This seems more and more interesting to me. But a candidate for the Queen of Everything is capable of this." Towa at that moment would increase her speed 500 times more, with which she was able to give Goku some blows. Superficially, they looked like normal blows, but they had stopped the flow of energy from all his veins. "The fact that you have the Ultra Instinct doesn't make you untouchable. You only need to overcome the reaction speed of your own body, and with that, it'll be much easier for me to finish you." Jiren at that moment would be very difficult for him to stand up. "I don't care if you're a candidate for the Queen at all. We don't plan to die without taking revenge on those bastards." Jiren, in spite of being very hurt and on the verge of death, would launch again to an attack, being knocked out with a single blow. Goku at that moment on the ground and on the verge of death would be able to observe Vegeta. "I'm sorry, Vegeta. I won't be able to avenge you. I'm sorry, Saiyan Prince." "You don't have to worry, Kakarot. Today is not the day of your death. Towa was approaching both of them with the intention of absorbing all their powers. However, at that moment, a much more terrifying pressure would appear in front of them. That's right, leaving Goku out of combat. That's right, the pressure of a Saiyan that had surpassed the combat mode of a king was amazing. That's right, the Saiyan king had appeared in front of Towa, who would recognize him immediately.
Yamamoshi-sama, what are you supposed to do in this place? You're an honorable warrior, and you never interfere in the territories of other kings.
You're right, Towa. How can I let you wipe out my offspring?
No matter who they are, the rules are clear, and they are for everyone. No matter who you are, so in the most polite way, I ask you to please leave. I don't want to fight.
So after thousands of years, you think you're powerful enough to fight me? Don't make me laugh. You're still a piece of trash compared to me.
Towa angrily launched into an attack, managing to land a sneaky punch on Yamoshi's face. How about that? I was so fast that he didn't even have time to react. Towa's smile would be erased from her face as she observed how Yamoshi had not moved a single centimeter. That's right, Towa's powerful blow had not been able to move Yamoshi even a millimeter.
In this instant, I'll make you remember the fear that you had on me millions of years ago. I hope you're prepared, Towa.
Yamoshi at that moment would begin to increase his power. Even loud screams could be heard all around. Powerful Saiyan King Yamoshi was raising his battle level so high that he was able to make the dimension itself collapse.
That's enough. If you can withstand fighting with my 25% power and you can withstand for 10 minutes, you can do whatever you want with these Saiyans.
Don't underestimate you bastard. It is all your power. I was a candidate for Queen of Everything, so I won't let you play with me.
Yamoshi at that moment would contact a powerful blow to her stomach, which was about to fall to the ground, but Yamoshi would hold her head. You're a candidate for Queen of Everything. I was the king of everything, who was able to overcome the barrier between a king and a creator god. You know that I was feared, even by the highest level creator gods, so you have no chance against me.
Yamoshi at that moment would charge a large sphere of energy, throwing it at Towa, which would quickly take distance and launch a beam of energy. The clash of both attacks was incredible, but the distance was noticeable, since Yamoshi was just playing with Towa.
Just because I don't want to kill you, I'll let you attack me, as I'm aware that your attack won't be able to do anything to me.
The powerful combined attack of your attack and Towa's attack would hit him directly. That's what you get for underestimating me, you bastard! So die for being a miserable, disgusting insect! Throughout the smoke screen, a laugh would ring out.
Ha 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 ha! Did you think you could beat me because of your power? Remember that you're nothing compared to me.
Yamoshi at that moment would give her a strong blow to her neck, leaving her out of combat. At that moment of approaching both subjects, he would realize that both possessed an impressive power, having the potential to overcome a king of all. However, he would realize that inside the body of Goku, a powerful compared to a king of all, with its maximum power, even the cursed techniques was not able to defeat him. That's right, the power that Goku hid was incredible.
This Saiyan's very interesting. Trained properly, he'll be the one to destroy this whole dimension, which was created by the power of the four gods.
Yamoshi would take both subjects, leaving his territory, because in spite of Yamoshi being the most powerful subject of that dimension, there were beings that, if joined together, were able to even put Yamoshi into great trouble. At that moment of arriving to the destination, Yamoshi would transmit them a little of his power. However, both warriors did not wake up, but Yamoshi, having much more experience than both, would know that both warriors were already completely healed. So Yamoshi would hit them with a bestial force in their stomachs, making them both wake up with a strong pain. Ouch! What happened? Where are we? Are we dead?
I doubt that we're dead because the pressure still remains and that blow gave us was merciless. You're right, you're not dead. You're still sealed in the dimension of the fallen kings. To get out of this place, you must increase your power to the limit.
Are you a Saiyan? This is incredible! So, how did you end up in this place?
It's a long story and that's no time for that. So I hope you're ready, because from now on I'll personally train you.
I appreciate that you saved us, but the power you emanate's not that powerful. Even the woman from before surpasses you. Even I think I'm capable of defeating you. Yamoshi, without saying a word, was able to make Jiren feel agonizing pain.
You can't feel my pressure or presence because I don't want you to, but my power is much greater than the power of Towa that possesses.
Goku would be very surprised to know that such a powerful warrior would train them. Yamoshi would stop releasing all his pressure, making Jiren able to move again.
Now that you know how great my power is, I hope you don't trust me because I'll make you suffer like you had no idea. Attack! I'll not use my pressure.
Goku and Jiren went on the attack. Goku at that moment was able to access the Ultra Instinct again, starting to fight against Yamoshi. Meanwhile, outside of that dimension, Daishinkan had gathered the Super Dragon Balls, reviving all the Destroyer Gods, but this time with a small change. That's right, they had been revived with negative energy and hatred towards mortals.
Gods, you know what your mission is, to finish with every being that is a threat to our multiverse.
As you command, Daishinkan-sama, Zeno-sama.
All the gods would leave to their universes, beginning to finish with each warrior that they believed to be a danger. At that moment, a warrior of the race of Frieza would appear in front of all. At that moment of doing it, all the beings of the kingdom of the whole would make a bow.
Sir Ryui, what is the honor of having you in our multiverse?
I come to congratulate you since you have successfully sealed both subjects. With this we will return to be the best multiverse, and we will finish with all the beings that get in the way.
I'm very happy that we have done our job well.
Very soon I'll be able to regain my omnipotence and omnipresence to become a creator god again.
Any other requests you have, sir?
For now, there are none. Just keep everything under control, since the last creator gods are about to wake up. Try to keep everything going as it has been so far.
You don't have to worry about that, Ryui-sama. We'll do it perfectly.
I count on you, because if you fail, I myself will take care of finishing you simple worms.
A golden light would leave all over that multiverse. That's right, this guy named Ryui was responsible for sealing of both warriors.
My lord, Ryui's power is so great that even if we had revealed ourselves, he would have killed each one of us. I know, Dai, but I feel like scum for betraying my best friend, and even injecting negative energy into the spiritual sea of each destroyer god.
Returning to the dimension of the kings, both subjects were fighting with King Yamoshi. However, in that time they had been training, they were not able to give him any blow. That's right, Yamoshi's speed was much faster than both subjects.
That's all for today. If we want their power to increase, they must also have rest.
Meanwhile, with Towa, she had already recovered by returning to her territory. However, she was furious at being completely humiliated, but at that moment, a great energy would stand in front of her.
Do you want to have the necessary power to kill Yamoshi? Accept this power. You won't regret it.
I don't care what it is. I want to finish with that damn Yamoshi. I won't let him make fun of me.
A great amount of energy would begin to enter Towa's body, which would begin to scream all over the place, since the power that it gave off was incredible. So much was the power that even her body would explode for some dozens of times. But the energy of before was in charge of restoring it. After hundreds of explosions, Towa would appear.
This power is amazing. This is the power of a creator god.
In a part of all that dimension, an extremely incredible power had appeared. However, in a few seconds it had disappeared again. That's right, the power of Towa had been felt by all the fallen kings, and it would call the attention of Yamoshi, who would change his expression to a very serious and cold one.
The power that was felt a few seconds ago was an incredible power. Even with my maximum power, I don't know if I could defeat that power.
Is something wrong? Your work has changed completely.
No, it's nothing to worry about. But you must become much more powerful. The power that you now possess is comparable to that of a guardian angel.
That's not enough. We must break all our limits to be able to finish off all the bastards who made fun of us. At that moment in Goku's mind, he was able to observe Zeno-sama. That's right, out of the dimension, Zeno-sama had used some mental power to contact Goku.
Friend Goku, I know you must hate me now, but you don't want anything to do with me, and you really had no choice. I feel like scum for doing this to you.
My friend Zeno! But tell me, what happened? Why did you do all this? What do you mean you had no choice?
Above us, there are the kings of everything who have been able to take their power to the limit. But even above them, there are the creator gods, which are also divided into scales of power.
Are you implying that a creator god has given the order to finish us off?
That's right. And if we refuse it, it would destroy all 12 universes. I'm so sorry, my friend. For that reason, I've decided to abandon 75% of all my power. Only you can finish with the new enemies that are approaching.
Despite being in another dimension, a power would begin to enter all over Goku's body. That's right, Goku's power was growing rapidly. Even with Zeno-sama's power, Goku was able to access his Ozaru form without the need of his tail. But while he was in transition, his tail would appear. That's right, Goku was destroying everything around him. However, he was able to observe Zeno-sama in the middle of all his destruction.
My friend Goku, I trust you with my power. I'm so sorry, you only deserve to be a king at all.
Goku in that instant would regain consciousness by accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 4, but his hair was an angelic silver color, leaving Yamoshi and Jiren surprised, since Son Goku's power had increased in an amazing way.
Goku's power has increased too much. I can't even calculate it. But with that power, he's capable of defeating a king in his fighting form.
Goku in that instant would throw a great sphere of energy towards Jiren. That's right, Zeno-sama, knowing that he was with Goku, had also sent some power to Jiren. Not as much as to Goku, but Jiren in the same way began to increase his power in such an incredible way that it would make everything around him tremble. That's right, the power that he was releasing was equally amazing. Unlike Goku, Jiren was not having any transformation in his body, was dominating all that power. However, he was becoming much slower because of the excess energy.
The power is incredible, but I feel as heavy as a planet, and since I don't have the ability to transform, it's much more difficult. You don't have to worry about that, since that's what I'm training them for. I don't know where they got so much power from, but it's time to start training beyond a king at all.
The three subjects began to have a great battle, which was capable of shaking some territories of the other kings. Meanwhile, with Toa, she was training in the same way to be able to dominate all the power of that energy. This power is incredible! So this is the power of a creator god. I'll finish with those damn trash.
You're not ready yet. Believe it or not, the being that killed my body was that damned Yamoshi. He's not lying when he said that he had all the creator gods were afraid of his power.
Is his power even capable of killing a creator god?
That's right. The power of that Saiyan is difficult to understand, despite fighting for hours, days, weeks. His power, instead of decreasing, increased as the battle went on.
This time it'll be very different. I'll do it for you, Master, and also out of pride. I'll not forgive you for the beating you gave me last time.
If you really want to do it, you must take your body to the limit. Because with the power you have now, Yamoshi is still able to finish you without any effort.
Toa at that moment would continue training, knowing that he still lacked the power to be able to make the Saiyan King bite the ground. Returning to the trio of subjects, Goku and Jiren, with their new power, they were already able to face Yamoshi. That's right, Yamoshi, despite using his maximum power at his base state, was difficult keeping up with the both of them. What's wrong? Is all that power of a Saiyan King? Jiren would be a little surprised by Goku's words because even though he had increased his power too much, there was still no match for Yamoshi in one-to-one combat.
I can see by possessing all that beastly power, you think you could defeat me. But let's see what you think of this.
Yamoshi at that moment would begin to increase his power in an incredible way, making everything around him tremble. Yamoshi's power was even perceived by the other fallen kings. The moment Yamoshi was accessing 50% of his glorious power, that's right, at that instant Yamoshi's hair would turn a silver color, as well as his eyes, which would leave Goku and Jiren surprised to realize that Yamoshi had access to Ultra Instinct.
You should feel lucky, since I was the one who created the Ultra Instinct. In short, my Ultra Instinct is the original one.
Goku would be very surprised to hear what Yamoshi said. Goku and Jiren, without caring about what Yamoshi said, would throw themselves against him, but this time the difference in their powers was as big as the sky and the earth. That's right, Goku and Jiren, despite having all that great power, this time were not able to do what Yamoshi said. This time, they were not able to make a scratch on Yamoshi, who, after a few hits, would leave them wounded on the ground. Goku, despite having the Ultra Instinct in his transformation from Super Saiyan Phase 4, was not able to dodge all of the blows of Yamoshi.
That's all for today. Your powers are growing exponentially fast, so you should take a break and get your energy up.
Goku and Jiren would begin to rest that day. Meanwhile, outside that dimension, Ryui was very desperate because for being that was lost omnipotence, it was worse than losing their life.
Damn it! If I'm not able to do something, I'll be left without my omnipotence. I have to hurry up on this. I think it's time to absorb all those damned ones.
Meanwhile, with Zeno-sama, he was very worried because he had a bad feeling about Ryui.
Die. I want you to store 90% of your power in that sphere of divine energy.
But sir, if I do that, I won't have enough power to be able to defend us.
Even if you have 100% of your power, you'll never be able to confront Ryui. Trust me, Daishinken.
All right, my lord. Whatever you say.
At that moment, Daishinken would begin to empty all his veins of energy, passing 90% of all his power to the sphere that the king had told him. After only 10 minutes of having finished, Ryu would appear in the kingdom of the whole.
Ryui-sama, what's the reason for your visit in the multiverse?
They have excellent subordinates, but now that they have finished with that plague, they're no longer useful to me. I'll keep their powers.
Ryui would throw himself against Daishinken, starting a battle which clearly showed who had the advantage. At the moment, both Guardians would launch an attack, and both Zeno-samas, with the power they had left, would merge in access to their form of combat. All were fighting against a single subject, but the result would be the same. So it is, from one moment to another, Ryui would begin to give some great blows to each one of those present, leaving them on the verge of death.
Before they die, I want to keep all their powers. I'll create the world that everyone wants. I'll finish with the creator gods and I'll access the Sheikah galaxy, place of the true gods and not beings like you.
Ryui at that moment would begin to absorb the power of each one of those present. Nevertheless, while Ryui absorbed Zeno-sama, Daishinken would communicate with all the gods telepathically.
Gods, I know at this moment all you possess in negative energy, but you must trust us. Abandon all your power and explode, because if you don't, Ryu will kill you and end your power.
And Father, will we do the same, or is our destroyer gods?
All of you, create energy spheres with a meeting point in the realm of all. My energy being more powerful than yours will absorb it and search for a worthy warrior.
Understood, Father. In this instant, we'll do it. Ryuji at that moment had finished the life of Zeno-sama, and his guardians at the moment of heading towards Daishinken was also filling all his spiritual sea, thanks to the power of Daishinken. However, before Daishinken remained, if his vital energy would curse him and affirm that an extremely powerful subject would avenge them.
Ha ha ha! No one has enough power to face me. Now it's time to absorb all the gods and angels.
The moment Ryui began to move all through the universes, every god would begin to explode. That's right, the gods had fulfilled Daishinken's last order.
Damned priest, they don't believe that because you don't have the power of simple gods and angels you'll be able to defeat me. There are more multiverses and temporal lines.
Ryui, furious, would rise to the top of that multiverse, creating a great attack, which would have enough power to erase all the multiverse of Zeno-sama. That's right, a gigantic megaversal explosion was able to be appreciated by all the other kings of the whole.
After millions of years, a megaversal explosion has happened again. Who was the guy that had enough power to blow up the entire multiverse?
The annihilation of a multiverse? Has a creator god awakened? The other kings would not give any comment on the matter. Meanwhile, returning to the dimension, Goku, who was meditating, at that moment would fall to the ground to his base state. That's right, he felt like an incredible power was crushing him, and he was right. The power of the High Priest, the 12 angels, and the 12 gods was entering his body. Yamoshi at that instant would quickly approach Goku, but Goku's body began to expel rays of energy, and at that very moment began to expel an extremely impressive power, leaving all the fallen kings surprised, which would be surprised by the power they felt.
What's happening, Goku?
It is the power beyond a king, but it's too early.
Goku would continue to increase his power like never before, accessing the Ultra Institute again, but this time his power was so much that it would make even Yamoshi tremble. Goku's body was releasing an incredible power, so much that even the dimension of the Fallen Kings was shaking like never before. At that moment, Yamoshi would increase his power to the maximum, accessing the legendary transformation, which was capable of supporting all his bestial power. Yamoshi at that moment would throw himself against Goku, hugging him tightly.
Goku, Goku, Goku! React! Don't keep raising your power like that, because if you continue, your body won't be able to support it, and it'll explode, so stop it!
Goku, without listening to everything that Yamoshi would say, he would continue raising all his power. That's right, Goku was in a trance mode which was not able to react. Yamoshi, at that moment, would give him a blow with all his power, but to his surprise, Goku would be able to stop his blow with only one of his hands and without any effort.
Don't think that you're talking to an amateur. I know the capacity in my body, and it's capable of withstanding this and much more.
Have you come to your senses, Goku? Then stop it! Even those amounts of energy are staggering to me, and I wouldn't control them without paying a high price.
Goku, unheeding, would continue to accumulate all his power until a huge explosion could be seen in Goku's body, which was still in the Ultra Instinct. But something to differentiate was the incredible pressure that emanated from it. That's right, Goku had been able to control the power of both Zeno-samas, Daishinken, and all the other deities of the universe. However, all the power he possessed was not only for Goku, since at that moment all the power of the Destroyer Gods would enter Jiren, beginning in the same way to increase his power in an amazing way. Not as much as Goku's, but his power had shot up. That is, he would be compared to the Jiren of some days ago. And with Jiren that absorbed the power of all the gods, the current Jiren would fight with 3 Daishinkens and defeat them without any difficulty. That is, in the same way his power had reached a level that hardly a mortal or even a god could be able to reach.
Mortal of Universe 11, it was never our intention to finish with you, but they were orders from above, and that same guy finished with us, so all the gods trust you with our power.
I trust you, Jiren. Prove that you're the being that goes beyond a god destroyer.
Jiren at that moment would create a great explosion all over the place, destroying everything in its path. That's right, it'd be much more complicated for Jiren to dominate all the power of the 12 gods, but he would succeed. After such an incredible explosion, Jiren could be observed, which was now able to use the destructive energy, protruding from his body the signs of a super god destroyer. That's right, Jiren was able to surpass a normal god destroyer.
This power is incredible, and he'll be able to possess the power to finish with the cursed one who's sent for our heads. We possess all the power of the 12 universes.
That's right, Jiren. No matter who our enemy is, he won't be able to defeat us.
Meanwhile, with Towa, she had already mastered all the power that this energy had given her. However, the energy at that moment materialized, giving the silhouette of a man.
Towa, now you must train more than ever, since the power that both subjects have attained is compared to a creator god of the lowest level.
How is it possible that those 2 mere mortals have attained the power of a creator god? This has to be a bloody nightmare.
Although it may seem like a nightmare, it is reality. The power of these 2 guys would even be able to give me a few scratches.
Master, are you still able to defeat them?
Of course I am. They are at the beginning of a creative power, compared to me, who has been in the creative world for millions of years. It would not be so difficult to finish them both.
It would be better to finish with them right now, because if we let them increase their power, they will be much more dangerous.
You are right, Towa, but you will have to do it yourself, because if the other creator gods feel my power, they will finish me quickly, and I don't want to attract their attention.
Why do you say that, Master? Can't you finish them with your base power?
Indeed, Towa. With my base power, it would be too complicated for me, and if I release a little of my creative essence, I will be able to call the attention of the other beings.
I understand, Master. Don't worry, I will finish with both subjects.
I have entrusted you with a part of my power. By not reaching the creative ground, your essence is null. So you can use all that power that I have entrusted you, but do not trust, because the power is great.
Returning to both warriors, both would begin to meditate because despite not causing damage with their powers, they felt the body extremely heavy. So it is, and this in the battle would be a great disadvantage. So both decided to meditate to regain their speed and even increase it. Meanwhile, out of the dimension, Zeno-sama's multiverse was in a complete chaos because there was no divine being to govern it correctly. That's right, after only 1 week after all the divine beings had died at the hands of Ryui, Zeno-sama's multiverse would explode, leaving no one alive. At that moment, Mikoshin would realize the annihilation of the entire multiverse.
This is bad. If a multiverse has fallen, this can happen to any other multiverse. If it'll be better to inform the Queen of Fire, since she's the most powerful among all the kings of everything.
Mikoshin at that moment would begin to fly through all the multiverses, and being a queen of everything, she would have enough power to cross the dimensional barriers without any difficulty. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, we can observe Ryui, who is sitting on his throne with a serious look since he was very thoughtful.
Damn it! If I had absorbed the power of all those gods, my power would have risen much higher. But they were able to discover my intentions.
At that moment, Ryui was able to perceive how the queen of the whole Mikoshin was heading towards another multiverse.
Apparently, with the explosion of Zeno-sama's multiverse alerting the mighty Mikoshin, she apparently plans to ally herself with the realm of relentless fire.
Meanwhile, returning to the two mortals who had overcome the power beyond the power of a king, they had already mastered all their power, since in that dimension, time passed in a very different way from the dimension from which they came. That is, that dimension they had already spent approximately 10 years, while outside the dimension, only 5 days had passed. In that moment, both warriors would stand up, starting to collapse the whole dimension. That is, in that same instant, hundreds of planets, galaxies would be created, and at the same time destroyed each other. Although both controlled their power, it was almost impossible for them to repress it completely.
This is incredible. The power of both of them has risen in an incredible way. I don't think I'll be able to defeat them both at the same time.
Yamoshi, we're ready to leave this miserable place. We're counting on you to return to the real world.
At that moment, 2 more warriors would appear in front of everyone.
Damn it! I knew you guys were watching us somehow. You better leave or I'll kill each one of you right now.
The 2 warriors that appeared were also kings of great power that had been sealed in that place hundreds of years ago.
You must not boast a power which we all have long since surpassed. You were the most powerful fallen king of all, but now your power is diminished in a great way.
That's right. You don't have the overwhelming power of before. Or maybe we only have become more powerful. I hope you're prepared for the day of your death.
Yamoshi at that moment would increase his power, however Goku and Jiren would stand in front of Yamoshi.
This'll be excellent to test our new powers, so you don't have to worry.
That's right! We're now the most powerful than you, Mimoshi, and it's our turn to protect you.
No, they're not normal warriors that you can face. They have millions of years of more experience than you.
Too late. We'll knock them unconscious and finish you off. Then we'll force them to form the portal to get out of this miserable place.
That's right. Both guys have the energy of a creator god in their veins, but their power's too weak. But with that little amount is enough to get out of this place.
Goku and Jiren at that moment would observe each other and giving a big smile, both would disappear at lightning speed. That's right, at that very moment, 2 great battles never before felt in the whole dimension of the kings was developing. At one point, Goku was able to give a sneaky blow to Yakuwa, who would fall to the ground, but the power was so much that it would have been dragged a few meters. At that moment, Yakuwa, furious at the same way, would recover from such a furtive blow, being able to give a great blow to the Saiyan. However, at that time, which of Goku had disappeared again. That's right, the speed that Goku possessed at this moment was incredible. Meanwhile, with Ryota and Jiren, both were very even. Or that was what Ryota believed, since from one moment to another, Jiren would attack, increasing his power, and would create a great fire attack. However, this attack was different since the power of fire was unreal. Besides mixing the particles in his ki, thus creating divine fire. Great flames of fire would be seen to be all over the place. Ryota at that moment would increase his power to the maximum to create a barrier with all his ki. However, the power of fire was so much that it even cracked the barrier of a super king altogether.
What the hell's going on? How can this bastard who barely surpassed king level have all this power?
I thought you'd be a great challenge, but you don't have the power to make me fight for real.
I only need 34% of all my power. Don't say stupid things, and I swear I'll end your pathetic life.
Ryota at that instant would take his energy to the limit. So much was his increase that even his body began to pay the consequences of accessing a power which he didn't fully master.
Bloody Spirit Mar, Divine Soul of the King, Massacre!
At that moment, inside Ryota's body, all his ki veins began to pass much more power. Even the base of all of the ki began to go so crazy that such a power Ryota was increasing, Jiren would begin to observe how Ryota's body was expelling large amounts of blood.
With the activation of that technique, you have sealed your fate. You won't be able to endure it for long.
Meanwhile, with Goku's battle, he had also forced Yakuwa to use the King's Divine Soul, which at that moment was also increasing his power in a very amazing way. At the end, you can observe both warriors who apparently had not changed at all, but at the moment of walking towards them, their footsteps were sinking in the ground, demonstrating the weight of their whole body. At that moment, Ryota, in spite of all the heavenly power that he possessed, would move at a great speed, giving him a great blow to Jiren. But great was his surprise when Jiren had been able to dodge it.
I hope you're prepared, simple mortal. I'll end your pathetic life. I'm not interested in being locked up for the rest of my life. I want to see if you have the power to back up your words.
Goku at that moment would stare at Yakuya, who, undeterred by the cold presence of the Saiyan, would launch an attack. That's right, however the result would still be the same.
This is something that if I wasn't seeing it from my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. Two warriors who have just been promoted to king level are able to face two experts.
The battle of the four warriors were in a great destructive point where everything around them was involved in lightning, fire, and even tidal waves. However, after only 10 minutes of battle, the body of both kings was reaching its limit. That is, they were not able to keep up with both warriors, as all their energy as the battle progressed was decreasing contrary to the energy of both warriors, which at every moment of the battle was increasing. That's right, what both warriors needed was to have much more experience in the territory of a king. So facing two subjects which surpassed that power was perfect for them. After 7 more minutes of battle, the body of both gods would expel a large amount of blood. That's right, their bodies could no longer withstand the power beyond the king's. At the time of deactivating their techniques, their power would drop in an amazing way. That's right, the power beyond a king had left their bodies with no energy at all.
Well, what a miserable fate. Without the need for us to end their lives, they'll die, since all their energy veins are totally destroyed.
So bloody spiritual sea. What a striking name. Now, die in their blood, simple cowardly kings who don't have the power to back up their words.
At the moment both subjects to move away, Yamoshi would throw them a great energy sphere, finishing with the life of both kings. That's right, since in that state it was preferable to death.
You have achieved great power, but you must not lose your humanity, because if you lose that, you'll lose everything.
However, at that precise moment, a gigantic power would be felt all over the place. That's right, the power of a true king was causing havoc in the whole dimension. Even a powerful aura would rise into the sky. Planets, galaxies, and dimensions themselves were cracking from the power that would be perceived.
This power is incredible. I never knew of the existence of a fallen king with such power.
At that moment, even Jiren and Goku were astonished. A great shadow would move at the speed of lightning. But unlike Goku and Jiren, a blood-red lightning could be seen. At that moment, that powerful lightning had been able to send Yamoshi to fly far from that place, and at that moment, a woman would appear in front of everyone.
Who are you? And how is it possible for you to master all that power?
Your ki is extremely great, but I feel like I know you from somewhere. Now you will be my food. Not even the legendary King Yamoshi has the power to face me. I currently possess the power of a creator god. Yamoshi, upon receiving such a furtive blow, would return quickly, realizing the power of that powerful queen. That's right, Yamoshi was the only one who quickly knew who it was, since both had fought for dozens of times.
can't believe the way you look now, Toa. You used to be the most beautiful queen of all.
That's what you forced me to do, after interfering in my hunt for those bastards.
You understand that I couldn't let you absorb warriors of my own race.
Don't worry, since in this place, and now I will absorb them all to go to the other world and be reunited with their pathetic race. Toa at that moment would pounce against the three warriors, who would quickly get on guard. However, the power that Toa had achieved was extremely incredible, being able to grant excellent blows to each one of the warriors. But he had not finished his attack since that moment, he would launch a great fire attack, similar to the one that Jiren used before.
That bitch was watching the battle all the time, so long that she was even able to create a technique similar to mine. Your blows have been able to cause me some damage. I hope you're prepared. As well as you, we'll have to increase our power.
Goku, Jiren, and Yamoshi, who at that moment began to raise their power in an incredible way, making the whole dimension rumble. So much was their power that they even released the dimension began to crack little by little. Even their ki was filtering through the cracks that were being created. Meanwhile, outside the dimension, the powerful Ryui would feel that power, which despite being very minimal would make him shudder.
What is this power? It's almost null, but in spite of that, it's still able to cause me incredible fear.
At that moment, when Mikoshin was about to arrive at the realm of the Queen of Fire, a sensation of death was able to be felt in the whole space. However, she wasn't able to feel the power since she was far away from Zeno-sama's multiverse. What is the sensation of death I feel? Something very bad is about to happen, so I must warn all the other kings urgently. Returning to the battlefield, the four warriors were having a great battle. However, every moment that the battle progressed, Toa's power instead of decreasing was increasing in a great way.
Toa, don't be confident. Despite possessing my seemingly unlimited energy reserves, everything has an end. So don't overdo it and save ki.
As you command, sir. I promise I'll bring him back to life.
I trust you, Toa. I have given you a great part of my spiritual power, so that you'll be able to defeat the three pillars of this world.
Toa would continue with her great battle, but at that moment, Goku and Jiren would increase their power even more, putting to her in serious trouble.
You two entertain her. By using my Ultra Instinct, I don't have the unlimited reserves that I have in my legendary transformation. We'll risk everything in this battle.
Goku and Jiren at that moment were pushing their bodies to their limits. That's right, with the power they were able to force Toa to take them seriously, since the damage he was receiving was great. Damn mortals, with a little bit of power, I swear that today will be their death. Toa at that moment would throw a great sphere of destructive energy, with which he had planned to finish the both warriors. But great was his surprise when he realized how his power was being retained. That's right, Goku and Jiren had created a great attack, which had the same power of Toa's power.
Hurry up, Yamoshi! We can't take it anymore!
At that moment, both attacks would explode, starting to exchange blows again. Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, they had already arrived with the Queen of Fire named Miyuki. At that moment, a beautiful woman would come out of her castle. Mikoshin, so many hundreds of years without seeing you. Tell me, what brings you to my multiverse? Haven't you felt all the power that overflows through all the megaverses? I had forgotten how paranoid you are. Yes, I have felt these powers, but they're not something that interests me, since they are still very far from my power. If I wanted to finish them with just one of my hands. We can't be confident, because from what I understand, a new creator god's about to appear, but this time he would bring destruction to everything created by the authentic creator god. That's just nonsense. A new creator god cannot be born. Nevertheless, at that moment in all the multiverses, four extremely amazing powers began to be felt. So much was the power that, in this occasion, all the universes, galaxies, spaces, and planets of each one of the multiverses were being destroyed, due to such an abysmal power. At that moment in the distance, a great light of red color could be observed. That's right, the battle of all the warriors had been so devastating that it had been able to even cross the dimensions. The moment that the three warriors would leave the dimension, they were able to observe how Toa didn't leave that place.
Toa, do not leave this dimension.
Don't worry if the portal closes. I will, with my power, be able to get you out. But if you leave now, the other creator gods will feel your power and finish you.
I understand, Master. For this occasion, they have been saved. But the next time that I see them, it'll be very different.
At that moment, Toa would return to the dimension of the fallen kings. While Goku, Jiren, and Yamoshi were in terrible condition, at that moment from Goku's body would come out a small energy belonging to Daishinken.
Lord Goku of Universe 7 and Jiren of Universe 11. We're sorry for the decision that we took, but all of us were forced to follow the orders of the semi-god creator Ryui. But we knew that it would be able to leave, so I have left this place so that you're able to take refuge in case of emergency.
At that moment, Zeno-sama's castle would appear again. That's right, with Daishinken's little power, he'd been able to create the castle again.
With my spiritual energy has completely worn out, I wish you luck.
At that moment, Yamoshi, who was the least injured, would take both warriors and begin to fly quickly through the universe to be able to reach the castle of Zeno-sama. At that moment, everything would return to normal.
This is what I meant, Miyuki. Powers that even surpass the normal level of a king are appearing. This is not normal.
Miyuki, a little surprised by all the chaos that the four powers had caused, she would agree with Mikoshin.
I understand, Mikoshin. Don't worry, I will give maximum alert and every king of everything must be prepared. Count on it. Thank you for understanding. We must defend the legacy of the Creator King.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Ryui was also surprised by the power that was felt.
That power was amazing. I can't believe it. But it won't be enough when I ascend to the Creator rank. But I must do it quickly.
Ryui at that moment would enter a room which seemed to be a paradise. But in this place, he had planned to recover all his power lost millions of years ago.
The sanctuary was built by a creator goddess, so the vital energy is amazing. I'll be able to recover in a few months and finish with the owners of these powers.
Returning with Yamoshi after a few hours, he would arrive at the Kingdom of the Whole. At the moment of arriving, he would not be able to let him to any of the rooms, since in that same place, Yamoshi had also fallen out of combat. That's right, the wounds in his body were also serious wounds. Meanwhile, in the Dimension of the Kings, Toa was furious, knowing that she wasn't able to finish with the guys who had humiliated her.
Toa, you mustn't worry. Remember that revenge must be planned months or even years in advance, or else something will go wrong.
Master, I understand, but I can't forgive myself for not being able to annihilate them.
Next time we'll finish each one of them. Don't forget that to run you must first learn to walk. So let's take it step by step.
Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she headed towards her multiverse, but at that moment, she would feel vital energy in Zeno-sama's multiverse, heading quickly to the place, observing her castle.
That's impossible! If her entire multiverse was destroyed, her castle must have been destroyed as well!
Mikoshin would approach, and when he was about to enter the castle, a great power would not allow him to do so. An incredible power had blocked the path of the mighty Mikoshin-sama, who was very surprised.
What the hell's going on? Me being a super queen at all, this wretched barrier won't be able to stop me.
Mikoshin would increase a great part of her power, starting to form a great attack with the intention of finishing with everything around her. The powerful attack of Mikoshin had rounded throughout the universe. That's right, the great explosion was seen by all the other multiverses. Even Ryui had noticed such power.
This is the power of Mikoshin, but a gigantic power is beside it.
Ryui was the only one to feel this power because his power was also reaching omnipotence, and as Goku possessed the energy of the first Saiyan God, even all his energy veins were evolving to an amazing level. Not reaching the level of the Creator God, but he was able to fight on par with them.
What the hell? I attacked it with all my power!
At the beginning, the gigantic Ozaru would form in front of Mikoshin.
What do you want in this place? Do you want to die?
At that moment, the Ozaru had spoken. Even with the words alone, a pressure and authority was felt through the multiverse of Zeno-sama.
What the hell are you? I'm not able to calculate the limit of your power. This is amazing.
I am the beast that does not belong to this divine rank. My power even exceeds the power of a creator god, but I don't have his divinity.
I don't understand who the hell you are, but I need to know if the beings that are in the palace of the King of Everything are a threat or not.
Rest assured, they're no threat. They're in charge of protecting this multiverse.
If what you told me is true, then let me help them, since their energy is fading by the minute.
I'll let you enter, but if you see anything suspicious, I'll not hesitate to finish you off.
At that moment, a big door would form in front of the powerful Mikoshin. At that moment Mikoshin would enter, she would observe Goku, Jiren, and Yamoshi in terrible conditions. Mikoshin, with her priestess power, would achieve that the trio of warriors would recover quickly. At that moment, the first to wake would be Yamoshi, who would recognize her quickly since millions of years ago both had great battles.
Thank you very much for your help, Mikoshin. You saved our lives.
Don't worry, but tell me, who is the warrior that left them in this terrible condition? I'm surprised that you, the king of the most powerful everything, has been defeated.
Yamoshi at that moment would begin to explain everything that happened, up to the point in which Toa possessed a power that even surpassed his power, which would leave Mikoshin very astonished, who knew that Toa, in spite of being a queen of everything, her power did not compare with the power of a super king of everything. However, in that same moment, an extremely amazing power would arrive to where everyone was, and it was Ryui.
Well, I destroyed this whole place. Are you the ones in charge of repairing everything? Although it's not something I care about. The only thing I want is to keep all of your powers.
Ryui at that moment would launch a great beam of energy towards Mikoshin with the intention of stealing large parts of her energy. However, Yamoshi would stand in front of that great attack, pulverizing with that aura.
Who the hell are you? How are you able to eliminate my attacks? That's of no importance to you, but I can feel that you have absorbed my power of hundreds of living beings. So now, I'll finish you off. Don't make me laugh, simple mortal. You have a great power, but compared to me, you're nothing. I'm about to rise to the rank of Omnipotent. So you're a fallen god, because I'm the legendary Yamoshi, the being that gave battle to the gods.
Ryui, without any importance to Yamoshi's words, would launch himself in the attack. However, at that moment, an amazing aura would send him to fly hundreds of kilometers because Yamoshi was increasing his power to the max. That's right, Yamoshi had access to legendary Super Saiyan, but the time of power was brutal. After a great explosion, Yamoshi would be seen in his combat form. Without losing a second, he would launch himself against Ryui, which at that moment had begun with an amazing battle, destroying territories even of the other kings of the whole. After only 3 minutes of battle, 2 of the 4 kings of the whole had died in the crossfire. That's right, their power was so much that the beings were not on the same level of battle, were pulverized only with the collision of their fists. Mikoshin would try to keep up with the battle, but it was impossible since his speed even exceeded the power of the gifted angel Mikoshin. At that moment, Goku had awakened in the same way, but there was something different in this one. The silver-colored fur of the Ultra Instinct had disappeared, having the red fur characteristic of the Super Saiyan 4. However, the power that it gave off even surpassed the power it possessed before. My head hurts, but this power is incredible. Apparently, Yamoshi's facing an extremely amazing being.
No, what? Not you have awakened. Can you tell me who you are?
Goku in the same way would explain everything that happened since Ryui sent them to steal. Mikoshin would be amazed, since that was what Ryui was, the being which was not afraid of anything or anyone. Meanwhile, with the battle, Yamoshi, despite having unlimited power, was receiving such brutal blows, which were capable of ending the universe. However, Yamoshi's body was being torn to pieces. After a final exchange of blows, Yamoshi would fall to the ground out of combat.
So, super king of everything. You should call yourself super trash of everything. You're not able to withstand 35% of all my power.
Mikoshin, upon hearing what Ryui said, would panic. but his astonishment would grow even more upon hearing the tranquility that Goku possessed. Goku at that moment with a serious face would head towards Yamoshi. However, Ryui at that moment would throw a large sphere of energy with the intention of finishing with both warriors, but the simple aura of Goku would make it disappear.
Don't worry, I'll save my master, and now I'll end your pathetic life.
At that moment, Goku had taken Yamoshi with Mikoshin and had teleported in front of Ryui, setting him flying with an incredible blow. That's right, the blow that he had given him had an amazing power. So much so that it would even make him spit large amounts of blood. At the moment that Ryui recovered from the blow, in this occasion, all the multiverses were destroyed by the power that both warriors were releasing. Meanwhile, inside the infernal dimension, Towa was training. By spending 2 or more years in that place, the complete essence of his master would be part of Towa.
Towa, you have been chosen as my successor, so I will always live in you. It is time to finish with those damned ones, but first control all my power.
Thank you very much, Master, for trusting me, and of course I will.
At that moment, an amazing power would begin to enter Towa's body, which seemed to explode with so much energy. At that moment, Towa was not even able to move, so he would decide to meditate. Returning with the battle of both deities, outside only 30 minutes had passed, in which Ryui was astonished, since he had received so much more damage than his enemy. At that moment, Goku with a great blow would send him back to the ground.
Are you still using 35% of all your power? You better take this battle in stride, because I'm not going to hold back and end your pathetic life.
Ryui would stand up angry and say to himself,
Damn it, I'm already using 95% of my power, but my punches don't seem to hurt him at all. Are you gonna remain mute? I'm talking to you, you miserable worm.
Goku, without caring about his opponent, launched again himself at him, kicking him, hitting him with energy blasts, and he was not able to do anything to defend himself. After only 25 minutes more of battle, Ryui was in terrible conditions, unable to do anything against Kakarot, whose power instead of decreasing was increasing more and more at an amazing speed.
I don't know why my power is increasing, but you didn't even make me use 20% of all my power. You are and will be a failure.
Goku would stretch one of his hands, throwing a great attack against Ryui, turning him into simple dust in the universe. At the moment, Goku would approach towards everyone, noticing that Jiren had already awakened.
Seems that this is finally over. We have finished with the ambition of that wretch.
But at that moment that everyone was about to leave, a great portal would be created throughout the universe of Zeno-sama, and in this place, an incredible power would spread. So much was the power that even would make Mikoshin and Jiren fall to their knees. The ones who could resist the pressure were Goku and Yamoshi, but after a few minutes, Yamoshi would fall to his knees. At the moment, Towa had left the portal, leaving everyone surprised.
Towa, how's it possible that I have all this power? This must be a damn nightmare.
You're wrong, honey. It's not a nightmare.
Now I've been able to overcome your power. Goku would take a step forward.
Towa, you've trained in order to take us down, but you overlooked something. I'm the most powerful Saiyan of all the multiverses and timelines.
Goku in that same instant would also begin to increase a great part of his power, being able to even make Towa retreat a little. The power that Goku was releasing would leave everyone surprised. At that moment, a great Ozari would appear all over the place, leaving everyone surprised, but all the power that would begin to enter Goku's body, which was filling with an abominable power. That's right, after a great explosion, Goku had reached the power of Omnipotence temporarily. Towa was surprised since the Grand Master had granted him Omnipotence and was able to feel the key of that dimension.
How is a mere mortal able to reach the Omnipotent level?
You'd be surprised to see what I'm capable of doing.
Goku and Towa at that moment disappeared, giving start to the final battle between good and evil. The blows that both of them gave each other were on another level. That's right, both of them were neglecting defense, giving blows with all their power. After an exchange of blows, both of them would take distance. Towa at that moment would say to herself,
The power of that Saiyan's amazing, but I'm sure that his power's temporary. I just have to endure and then finish with all these bastards once and for all.
What Towa didn't know was Goku's omnipotent power was merging with every time with Goku. And in the same way, he was able to have that majestic power activated for approximately 48 hours. Goku at that moment again had launched himself against Towa, giving some excellent blows.
I'm not going to lose. I know that with this technique I'll die, but I'll go quietly that you will not be part of nothingness.
What the hell are you saying?
Receive my last technique. Killer hands of the omnipresent God.
At that moment, a gigantic being had appeared in front of everyone, a being to massacre a part of Towa. However, not only part of her was damaged physically, since with each blow, he snatched a large part of the omnipotence, and Towa was not able to do anything to free herself from the stealthy attack.
And number 100 dies!
At the number of 100th attack would completely connect with Towa, eliminating him completely. However, Goku would still fall all over the universe. Mikosha would quickly take him in his arms.
I've won. I've done it for you. Please, rebuild the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama and inform him that I forgive him. No, Goku! Damn it, you'll not die!
Mikosha at that moment, with a great mental power, would gather all the Super Dragon Balls, appearing Zalma.
Tell me, what is your wish?
I wish that you cure the Saiyan.
I'm sorry, that power exceeds my power, since it's an omnipotent rank. Tell me another wish.
Mikosha, don't worry. Ask to bring my friend Zen back to life.
Mikosha would fulfill Goku's request, appearing all the divine beings, and the moment Zeno-sama observed Goku in that condition, tears would be shed.
My friend, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. Don't worry, my friend. Promise me that you'll train and nothing, and no one will be able to destroy our multiverse again.
We promise, Mr. Goku. Thank you so much for everything.
At that moment, Goku's whole body was enveloped in a great golden light and would disappear. Jiren would not believe it.
Son Goku, I can't believe you died. I promised to find a way to bring you back to life.
Goku's death had been a great blow to the entire divine world, and in all the universes, they had formed a great statue in honor of their savior. Goku had taken his body to the limit. With so much power had been collected, he was able to reach omnipotence, but this would end his very existence. However, the trio of warriors would not give up and would seek a way to get Goku back to the earthly world.
Damn! I can't believe Son Goku sacrificed himself for all of us, and we couldn't do anything to prevent his death.
Jiren, don't worry. We weren't able to do anything at the time, but I know that Goku will come back.
In fact, if there's a way in which Goku can come back, but that would mean entering the world of the Omnipotent Gods and talking to Hades.
Weren't the Omnipotent Gods just a legend? I can't believe it. There really is a being powerful enough to hold Goku's power.
That's right. Millions of years ago, it said that beings of great power, even if their power exceeds the level of a king at all, will be sent to the territories of omnipotent gods.
In that case, we have a hope to get Goku to return.
That's right, but to enter those territories is to be condemning ourselves. The powers of those warriors are overwhelming. It doesn't matter if I have to go to hell itself. I'm not going to let Son Goku face this alone. We were both locked up. We will both die, or we will both be victorious.
I know this is a crazy idea, but if you don't want to go with us, don't worry. We'll go by ourselves.
Don't make me laugh, Mikoshin. I was the Saiyan that was feared by the gods themselves, so I'll go anyway, and we'll get Kakarot back, but we only have one shot at it.
This was how the trio of warriors would leave towards the world of the omnipotent gods. Yamoshi, with his legendary power, was able to reach the world of the omnipotent gods, where no power was perceived, but an overwhelming pressure was perceived, which was able to even cut the breathing of the warriors.
Before we can continue, it will be better that we adapt ourselves to this pressure so that we'll be able to fight with any warrior that is put in front of us.
The three warriors began to meditate so that pressure is able to merge with their own body. At that moment, the power of the warriors was growing in an amazing way, because in the world of the omnipotent gods, it was much easier for the powers of all grow in an incredible way.
So this majestic power is enjoyed by the beings born in this world. That's right. For that reason, their power is gigantic. Because since they are born, they can cultivate their sea of energy with this pure pressure. Meanwhile, in the realm of the whole, Daishinken, together with Zeno-sama, wondered how they would be able to bring Son Goku to life.
My lord, do you think Son Goku will be able to come back to life?
I have no idea, Daishinken, but what I do know is that my friend Goku is not a being who gives up so easily, so I know he'll be able to come back again.
Let's hope so, because in the omnipotent world, there are beings much more powerful than Towa and Archon.
They knew what they were up against, but they are willing to do whatever it takes to be able to bring Goku back to life.
Returning to the trio of warriors, in that place it had already been 2 months, since that time in that place passes much faster in a way.
Well, it's time to continue, since we can't waste so much time.
At the moment of leaving that place, a warrior would notice their presence, realizing that they did not possess the omnipotent key. Without being noticed, the guy had sent Yamoshi flying, falling to a planet being dragged by multiple mountains.
What happened? I haven't been able to see anything at all.
So, this is the power of an omnipotent god. I'm not able to assimilate it. Its power is out of my imagination. I was not able to see anything.
An incredible power would be felt all over the place. That's right, Yamoshi was accessing his legendary state and was even taking his body to the limit, knowing that the warrior in front of him was not a simple worm. He was an omnipotent warrior. Yamoshi, with a great explosion, had accessed the legendary Super Saiyan.
I don't know who the hell you are, but this instant I'll end your pathetic life. And it doesn't matter that you're a simple omnipotent god. Ha 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 ha! Simple human. Don't you know the difference that separates us? An omnipotent being is even capable of facing 2,000 kings of his world and defeating them without any problem. Against 3 simple flies? Finish you off. What did you say? We start fighting so you can see if we're simple flies.
Ryuk with a great blow would send Yamoshi to fly, and without wasting time, he would begin to exchange blows with that warrior. But his fists were shaking with each exchange of blows.
Goku, please, if you've come to this world, please help us. You're the only one who could stand up to these wretches.
Yamoshi would be treated like a punching bag. That's right, he was receiving the beating of his life. Jiren could not stand his anger. In the same way, he would rush against that being, but in a simple movement, he had received millions of blows, falling to the ground badly injured and on the verge of death by the brutal beating.
You were not able to make any scratches on me. You're a disgrace.
Mikoshi would stand in front of that guy.
Please, spare our lives. We have only come in search of one person. We promise that when we find him, we will leave.
You are a very beautiful human. If you accept to be my wife, I'll let these 2 scum be our slaves.
I would never be your wife. My heart has already chosen someone else.
In that case, die damned!
Ryuk would throw a great sphere of energy towards Mikoshi and the others, but at that moment, the whole omnipotent world seemed to turn upside down, since a surprising pressure would be felt all over the environment, so much so that it had even destroyed Ryk's attack. A majestic being would stand in front of Mikoshi, who would quickly recognize him.
Goku, how is this possible?
Long time no see, Mikoshi. I have to explain many things, but the great god Zama allowed me to return to my true world. But I must end the lives of a few rebel gods.
Who the hell are you? I can feel how you possess omnipotent energy, and at the same time human energy. You're a damned hybrid.
Ryuk, furious, would rush to the attack, being able to grant a great blow to Goku, sending him to fly. Ryuk would continue with his onslaught, being able to connect hundreds of blows, which seemed to do serious damage. At the moment, Goku would fall to the ground and a great attack would be directed towards him. At the moment of a collision, a great explosion would be created all over the place, leaving absolutely nothing to see.
That simple worm wanted to compare himself to me, a powerful omnipotent god.
But Ryuk would be astonished at the moment when he noticed how Goku would stand up without a scratch. When Ryuk was about to say something, Goku at superhuman speed would stand in front of Ryuk and in a bloodthirsty act would rip out his heart, leaving absolutely nothing. At the moment of a great attack, he would pulverize all of Ryk's body, leaving absolutely nothing. Goku would approach each one of his friends, transmitting energy to them, with which they would obtain a great increase in power, and even their wounds would be completely healed.
Son Goku, how is it possible that you're alive?
It's a long story. I'll tell you all together, but I was given the mission with several other rebel gods to be able to return.
I know you'll succeed. You have incredible power.
Those gods are not trash like the one I fished a few moments ago. They're real monsters. But among all of them, I'm still worried about Sorat.
In that case, we'll fight by your side. I know we don't have the necessary power to support you in this battle, but we'll help as much as we can.
But at that moment, the whole place would begin to be destroyed. So-on, a powerful god, was approaching at an incredible speed, and despite being far away, his power began to destroy everything around him. The trio of warriors did not fall to the ground due to the essence that Goku had given them.
So, you're a simple mortal that will finish us rebel gods. Don't make me laugh. You're a simple worm compared to me.
Goku would get into battle pose because he knew that on the same day he would decide if he could leave that place or stay in that place forever. Goku, using a great part of his power, would be able to finish with that god quickly because he did not want to prolong the battle for a long time, knowing that the most powerful god of all the rebel gods was missing.
It's better to fish with Ryuk right now. I'll need all his help.
But at that moment, a fist of a simple child had sent Goku to fly hundreds of meters. That's right, that being with the appearance of a child was Sorat. Goku, at the moment of stopping, would begin to spit large amounts of blood due to the terrible damage that simple blow had caused him.
For my reputation, I'll not end the lives of mere mortals. You're not capable of doing anything against me. I must only end the life of this pathetic Saiyan.
Sorat, at the speed that no one was able to observe, would begin to massacre Goku, who would do everything necessary to defend himself, but Sorat's power was overwhelming.
We must do something. We can't allow that guy to kill Goku. We were just able to find him.
We're not even able to see his attacks. The only thing we could do is to give him all our powers like last time. Now that even the omnipotent god Zama himself has entrusted him with this mission, and his body's more resistant, he'll be able to withstand all his power.
The trio of warriors would begin to transmit every drop of their power to Goku, although the most striking power was that of Yamoshi. Being the legendary Saiyan, the amount of power he could transmit was unlimited. Goku, despite all that power, was not able to do anything. Being totally humiliated, would fall to the ground hundreds of times. However, a latent power was awaking inside him, a power that even Goku himself didn't know about.
Damn it! I won't let you finish me off. I have to have the power to finish you off and return to my world.
Goku, with his anger, would be able to form an incredible beast and totally lose his omnipotence. That's right, Goku had returned to the Celestial Super Saiyan 4, but the power he gave off was unreal, even surpassing the power of an omnipotent god with his simple mortal form. Sorat would be surprised to realize that instead of his power decreasing, it was increasing.
I don't know what you did, but your power is increasing to incredible scales. Keep it up. I want a real battle.
Goku's powers seemed to have no limit, and with a very serious look, he was able to dodge a great blow from Sorat, which left everyone surprised.
It's time to finish you, you damn trash. You've brought chaos to the entire divine world, so I have to finish you off.
Goku at that moment began to exchange blows with that guy. Despite the fact that Goku's power increased hundreds of times, he was only able to match the power of his enemy. However, the blows that Goku connected with him caused him great damage.
Damn it! With this attack, I'm going to end your pathetic life. No matter what you do, you won't be able to finish me off.
At that moment, two attacks collided with their maximum powers. Yamoshi, to one side of Goku, would throw his attack in the same way, which seemed to be insignificant, but with the course, Goku's attack was gaining ground, until the moment of turning the powerful omnipotent god Sorat into simple dust.
Thank you very much, Yamoshi. All this has been thanks to you.
70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was. What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void? What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son, you've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. That was our first encounter with an enemy of another level. But we cannot forget the Cell Bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time you showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
The fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus. That god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right. And now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly. Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving.
Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong, but I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark. And a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis? Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies, and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected.
Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents? The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as supreme god. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point.
The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination.
It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail.
In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation.
In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared.
You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I'll give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so that the power will prevail.
Earth 2024.
What? This can't be true. Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh?
We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally.
The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturne. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes.
Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament.
Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It'll be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences.
In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for their survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
But what is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior will be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you?
We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted. The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law. The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, will not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out.
Let's go, Kakarot.
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! It can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin.
Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta. This creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this!
For once, Kakarot, I agree.
The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyans' attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast!
The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together!
All right, Kakarot. Together we'll defeat it.
Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kame! Ah!
Final Flash!
The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyans' assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble.
This thing's stronger than we thought. Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing. Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta! The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds. Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting! At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince as he stood up, his eyes regaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique? Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies. Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their more formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit. the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light. It's time to seal your fate.
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku!
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight! We won't let them defeat us!
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly! Gohan, Broly, stay strong!
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature, in its enhanced form, launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together. Come on, guys, we can't lose. This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the Shadow Creature with indomitable resolve. The Shadow Creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the Shadow Creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the Shadow Creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly. Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison.
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the Shadow Creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The Shadow Creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the Shadow Creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the Shadow Creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The Shadow Creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist!
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the Shadow Creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the Shadow Creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the Shadow Creature and Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the Shadow Creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the Shadow Creature with renewed speed and power. Well, guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time. Well, guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Track good.